This selection panel is the most important selection panel for this country because it helps to select the body that makes the biggest political decisions in this country, and the body whose decisions can plunge us into problems or hold us up. Mr. Speaker, we have had problems with nearly every IEBC on record, except for the one that was picked after the selection by the IPPG. Mr. Speaker, the appointment of commissioners of IEBC is political, even though the Constitution puts it is supposed to be people who are neutral. And the selection panel needs to be able to balance the political interests of all political players in the country in order for there to be peace. Mr. Speaker, if from the word go the selection panel will be seen to be politically leaning on one side and not on the other, we are going to have a problem. Whoever they bring, even if they have integrity, will not be seen to have integrity. So I would want to urge members of this House to take this job seriously and not to hurry just because we need to put this selection committee in place and end up with a committee that is not acceptable to Kenyans. Mr. Speaker, in that discussion I suggested, is there a way in which we can increase members to 9 in order to take into account all the public contributions that we've received, suggesting that we bring on board other players? We were given an opinion that I disagreed with that said that we cannot amend from 7 to 9. But I conceded on that particular issue, but I still would want to understand the legal thinking behind curtailing Parliament's power to legislate and why we cannot move from 7 to 9. When it came to 7, my view is that the slots for Parliamentary Service Commission must be slots that can be shared by both sides of government and the opposition. We cannot have one. If we have one, there'll be a perception that that one slot is supposed to go either to one side or the other. That's going to bring a problem. So I suggested to the team that we need to retain 2 slots for the Parliamentary Service Commission. Mr. Speaker, initially I had suggested that religious organizations possibly have no business in this political space, and maybe they can take the 1 slot instead of Parliamentary Service Commission. But we were reminded that it is the practice, and it is true, that in this country we always have a balance of the Christian and other religious organizations. And I think retaining 2 slots for the religious organizations makes sense.